Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pipeline Podcast, episode 148. I am joined by a very special guest returning to the show, but first time by themselves. It sounded sad. I didn't mean it to sound sad. SME, Heroes
He was
of
all
Heroes.
he could get.
That was a last minute get. Oh my goodness. The other guy said, nah, we're good. SMB, how are you? How is it going?
It's going good. I'm very excited to talk some shop. I'm very excited to talk about comic books and comic book movies and everything involved. It's my favorite thing to do, so I'm excited.
I am also very excited. Yeah, we were talking a bit before we got going here. Like, obviously, you've been on twice before, but it was our big kind of like annual Ben 10 kind of group discussion that we have every year in mourning that there's no Ben 10 to talk about. And
the council.
Yes, absolutely. And those are like genuinely some of my favorite episodes I've done on the show because it's just like pure, just like we all love this one thing and we all get to talk about a thing we don't typically get to talk about, or some of them do obviously, but like there's not a lot to talk about. So it's a fun little thing. But it has been my goal to get some of you guys onto a kind of solo episode to give you the full episode treatment. And I do think Fantastic Four is a pretty fun one to do this with because, we'll obviously talk about it more as we get into it, but like, been a long time coming. This was like one of those Marvel movies that like we thought never would see the light of day. Like the amount of times I've talked on this show specifically on like Fantastic Four fan castings and Fantastic Four blah 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 blah, and it was like a year and a half worth of stuff that was like, it'll be here eventually, I guess. I don't know.
It's been a lifetime.
Yeah, no, it's very fun getting here. But welcome to the show. How are you? What's been going on? What's been up?
The day is off to a good start. I actually just found my lost Legion of Superheroes Legionnaire
cool.
ring.
Hell yeah.
It was lost and I found it, so I think I've just been riding that high all day, and I've been looking forward to doing the show. So
wow.
I'm jazzed.
Can you fly with it now? Does it come with
they do say that is what it's for. And I'm not daring enough to test it yet, but we'll see eventually.
Fair. But yeah, no, like we have a fun show in store. I say we just hop right into it. Let me answer a couple of chats here really quickly, and then we'll kind of jump into the main show. Maddie in the chat saying hello. Sorry, hello. I thought it said hey, so I went that octave, but it was hello. Love the profile picture, Maddie. Changing it from Lex Luthor to Silver Surfer. Not a bad pivot. Jeffrey said, Darren, everyone, what's up? How's it going? Hope everyone is doing well. Maddie said that is the comfiest bed I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I had to blew it up for Fantastic Four.
Pretty cool. That's pretty sick.
But I never use that light though, because like why would I sleep with a light over my head?
That looks like it'd be blinding. You're just like
it is incredibly blinding. Yeah, so it's really only made for times like this. So
Sure. Absolutely. Good friend of the show, Taj. I saw the movie today. It was amazing. I'm very glad that you enjoyed it, my friend. I'm very glad. It's been cool seeing it's just been a great year, I think, for like comic book projects in general, in a way we haven't seen for a while. Like, I think most years for like every amazing project, there's like 5 like controversial ones, or like ones that like the like general audience aren't really vibing with. I feel like we've been in a pretty great like strive of like Thunderbolts, Superman, Fantastic Four, like Invincible and Spider-Man. Like I feel like this year has been like really, really solid for a lot of those. Been a couple, Captain America exists. I know that one isn't everyone's favorite, which is valid, but I feel like we've been eating pretty well recently.
I agree.
Incredible. But yeah, without further ado, we are going to get into our creator spotlight segment, where I have a couple of fun little questions here pulled up for you. Since this is your first time on the show, I'm gonna ask you a fun kind of get to know you kind of questions, and then we will jump into some other stuff I want to talk about. First of all, nice icebreaker. I like to ask people favorite movie of all time.
Favorite movie of all time? I am actually, I feel like over the last couple of years I've kind of morphed into like a pseudo cinephile. Like I feel
Oh,
like,
sure.
I got the letterbox to go on,
Mm-hmm.
log in stuff all day. But yeah, I think even after watching so many more like movies recently, my
Mm-hmm.
favorite movie ever since I was a kid and I first saw it has been Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Really?
And it's so good because I loved it when I was a kid, and then watching it as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
or an adult,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm like, wow, this is still like an amazing movie. Like it's so well made. Like it holds up. Like yeah, this is easily my favorite. I love it so much.
Incredible. This segment always exposes me to movies I haven't seen because I've never finished Ferris
What?
Bueller. I have
It's so good, and the
I
ending, like the last like 15 minutes, I feel like is like the most iconic part of the
I
movie.
I've heard that. I've seen the first like 20 minutes. And it's nothing against the movie. I haven't got back around to it, and like I love coming of age type movies as well. So although I do love the scene from that new Ninja Turtles movie where they're all like up on the balcony watching Ferris Bueller while all the people are
Oh
yelling
yeah, I actually totally forgot about that, man. I probably freaked out when I saw that.
at him.
I don't remember.
It was like, oh man, like what a freaking cameo! Holy shit! And then just to go with that, favorite TV show of all time.
Oh man. Shoot. Okay, I usually say like Daredevil, maybe like
Mm,
Netflix Daredevil, but I
okay.
actually kind of want to give a spotlight to a newer show that I watched
Okay.
a few months ago, and I just think it's like so amazing and underrated. It's called Devs. It's on Hulu. It's like an 8 episode miniseries. It's from writer director Alex Garland, who did like
Sure.
28 Days Later, Armageddon, or not Armageddon, Annihilation, uh, and it's just like it's some of the most like thought provoking, like interesting, like narrative, like TV. Like the performances aren't great, but I think that kind of get like you kind of enjoy that after a while. But
Interesting.
like it's an easy like 10 out of 10 show for me. And I finished it in like 2 days. It's so quick, but it's really like
Sure.
you know cosmic and like crazy, a lot of like really cool shit. Like it's awesome.
Incredible. Yeah, this is like there's so many shows now that will come out and they're a top tier television. They're incredible, but they go by so fast.
Yeah, I apparently this came out during COVID, so if you're on Hulu, maybe pause your Gumball episodes for a second and turn on some devs for a few hours.
It's been interesting seeing that back. I feel like everyone's kind of like I haven't seen much of Gumball. I didn't grow up on it much as a kid, but it'd been very. I did check one out like a couple weeks ago, and it was very jarring. It was like, oh, this is a very out there kind of show, but
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting a show like that coming out now, and people being like, was it always this weird? And it seems like
Yeah, right. It's like, no, I think they're just commenting on like more current stuff, like same
sure,
as they were back then. Like that, I only watched the first couple episodes of the new season, but
yeah.
the the ending of the first episode, if anyone's seen it, it made me laugh so hard. And yeah, so I'm excited to finish it, but
Yeah, I just put on like I just put on the first episode. And I was like, I should probably get caught up with this. Such a huge pop culture thing, and maybe I will. But the first one was about like opening your relationship, and like sometimes one isn't enough. I was like, holy shit, this was a kid's show in like 2012. Like they had balls. So like you definitely have those people that are like Gumball's gone woke, and it's like no,
Yeah.
you just forgot. Okay, my next question here. You can only pick one of these. You can only pick one of these franchises, and you can only watch this thing for the rest of your life. The others disappear forever. Marvel, DC, Ben 10.
This is literally like if I was having a nightmare, this is literally the question that someone would be asking me. I've never been. I'm so glad I'm being asked it now, just so
Yeah.
like I can be done
You're
anticipating.
actually asleep.
Wow,
I'm a demon.
that is so tough. Okay, so I feel like this is really gonna come down to. I feel like this is really gonna come down to DC and Ben 10 probably.
Interesting.
Even though Marvel, like I love Marvel like so much.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I even like it as much as I like DC when I'm like get really into it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to limit that one first. I think just because I'm me and myself, I'm always gonna have to pick Ben 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really. Oh my God, was that Chainsaw Reacts? I love that guy.
Hey, buddy. What's up, bud?
But yeah, it's got to be Ben. I've actually been watching his reaction videos a lot, like while I eat. It's so funny.
Hell yeah.
I just love like seeing someone not know like what's gonna come next in the franchise. But yeah, I think Ben 10. I have my daylight curfew jacket in the closet right now.
Those are cool. Those are sick.
I got my little Ben U2s.
Let's go.
It just came in the mail the other day, actually. But yeah, it's my ride or die franchise. Like Ben is probably always going to be like my favorite character, no matter how much I like change my profile picture on like Twitter or whatever. Ben is he's number one on the pedestal. So yeah, it's gonna have to be that.
That's fair. That is very
Even though
fair.
I'd be taking a lot less content, I'd probably be very bored if I did not have the other two.
I think that was my logic where I'm just kind of working this out in my brain because I'm like, well, listen, there's a lot less Ben 10 than there is Marvel and DC. So like I feel like I kind of took him out like just by necessity first. I was like, all right, I love it, but like
I agree. Think about this. Yes, that is true. But imagine the feeling if such one, I don't care if it's like 10 years from now, we get a new movie or show. I feel like that feeling alone would trump years of like Marvel for me. I feel like I can say that confidently.
That's fair. Like I think about the scenario a lot where it's just like, all right, I'm stuck in prison. I can only just watch one thing, one franchise for like the rest of my life. And I did for a while I did say DC, and I think that was just because like I have all those CW Arrowverse stuff. And even when they're bad, they're entertaining. And there's a lot of them. I have months of content. Like I will never run out. That doesn't mention like Smallville. That has
I still need to finish that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, all the movies, I feel like you could watch them nonstop and you would never run out of content. Like there's just so much that's just made. And like Marvel's the same way, but I feel like Marvel is on a different caliber, I guess. Not in terms of quality, but just in terms of like I feel like a lot of times Marvel does like, okay, we're sticking in kind of in one general space, where DC is like, oh, we're gonna have like 50 different universes at once.
I think DC that's part of it. I feel like they embrace their medium a lot more effectively than Marvel has been recently. I feel like I feel like on the comic book side, it's just like I'm more enthralled in DC at the moment.
Agreed with that. Agreed. Yeah, I think. But also, like, I do wonder how fair that is too, because it's like DC right now in terms of just like media, not to mention comics and stuff like that, but like DC's like that shiny new toy that's like, ooh, it's new and it's fresh and it's exciting. Where like Marvel is like, what, 20 years into their like their mainstream thing.
That is true. But then you could, then you could see DC now. They're kind of in like I don't know. They could be the underdog, but it kind of depends on your perspective because
Yeah,
you could see the MCU's decline, kind of making Marvel seem like the underdog, and the DC has James
that's
Gunn,
true.
so it's like, you can really look at it either way, I guess.
Yeah, I think DC is still the underdog, but I don't know for how long that's going to
Yeah.
last. Yeah, I'll be, not to get off track here, but like I'll be curious, like after Secret Wars, what's the status? Like, what are because people after Endgame said, well, we're done. If they said that after Endgame, what for many people was the peak, what are they going to say after Secret Wars? Because I feel
And
like
think about how much DC stuff is going to be out by the time that Secret Wars is out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very fascinating. I wanted to ask you about Metamorpho, because Metamorpho just got
Okay.
debut. Are you afraid that you are no longer going to be the #1 Metamorpho fan now that he's in one of the biggest movies of the year?
I actually was a little afraid, but honestly, I feel like, and I'm honest, I don't really have an issue with this. I feel like people came out of Superman with, yes, Metamorpho was cool, but I feel like a lot of people came out of Superman with like Mr. Terrific
Mr. Terrific,
as
yeah.
like that character that's like,
You're
I didn't
right.
know who this guy was, but he was amazing. And then they're like, oh yeah, Metamorpho, he was good too.
He was
Like I
cool.
liked him.
Yeah.
Like for me, I was like slack-jawed in the theater when he was like turning his hands into a big hammer. I was like,
Yeah.
like, but yeah, and I love Mr. Terrific. I mean, almost just as much. So I was very excited. But
Yeah.
hopefully for now, I stay president of the fan club. Soon we might get a Twitter community going. But
Yeah.
I'm welcoming to all new Metamorpho fans because I feel like there's a lot about him to love, and especially I feel like he's in the comics more now. There's kind of synergy, so it's inevitable.
Sure. I think you were the reason I was excited because I'll be honest, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I know, but I didn't. I wasn't very like I didn't know much. I knew of him. I had seen him in some stuff, but I wasn't super involved in that. But I was like, he likes his character so much that I am so excited for him. I'm so
That makes me
excited
so
for
happy. I
character.
literally remember the day that it was like announced that he was in the movie, and I was
I
like,
do too.
oh my god, like what? And I saw Anthony Carrigan was playing him. Was like, oh my god, I love this guy too. He's like
Yeah.
perfect. And then I saw like all these people on TikTok and whatever, like, what is James Gunn doing, man? Like, who is this like weirdo? Like, this is a Superman movie. And I was like, no, you don't. You need to. You're gonna see the vision. You're gonna see it. And I think a lot of people were like, oh yeah, that makes sense why he'd be
cool
in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to see more. Yeah, because I did end the movie being like, he was good, not incredible yet, but he was. I don't think he needs to be.
Yeah,
Right now.
I was happy with it, and
Yeah.
at like the level that I wanted to be, pretty much. Like a little bit off course, but like with Thunderbolts, I'm a big Sentry guy too. I feel like that exceeded what I expected from that character and made it so like new and interesting and more accessible. But with Metamorpho, I was like, this is exactly like kind of what I wanted. I'm happy with it.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I'm just like already. I'm really happy that this like DC universe is like exposing people to characters they probably would have never have known. Like that was one of my favorite part of the like CW universe. It's like I would have known half of these characters if it wasn't introduced to me
I
via
feel like that was big.
Yeah. So I'm very happy that like people are learning about Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner and
yeah, Guy Gardner,
and
he came out of that one pretty popular too.
Yeah. So very, very exciting. Okay, yeah, we are going to be moving into a couple of news stories here. So Marvel put out a Variety article, and there's one other thing that's not part of that I want to bring up here too as well. But they put out a couple of things I want to bring up here. Marvel is definitely, I would say, in a very interesting spot this year. Like we are very heavily in this like transitional age, I feel like, where all the old stuff from the Bob Chapek era is almost gone, outside of I think maybe parts of Wonder Man was under that era, but besides that, we are all in the new Bob Iger's back era of Marvel, which is very exciting, for some at least. And we're now in this like we're starting to wrap up the Infinity Saga, and now it's even interesting. I'm sorry, not the Infinity Saga. I'm a bit late on that. The Multiverse Saga, and now we're looking ahead to the Mutant Saga is what we're kind of dubbing, or phase 7 of the MCU is kind of seemingly what we're preparing for, which is crazy. We're at that point. But here are a couple of tidbits about kind of the future of Marvel and kind of what they got cooking, and some little tidbit lines that they've said. The X-Men, which we found out officially has a director. We learned that a couple weeks ago. Casting for X-Men will begin soon. Marvel will be looking for young talent rather than A-listers to keep the cost down. It feels weird to have X-Men news at all. Like, that's a project we've been waiting so long for. The whole merger with Fox happened 7 years ago, 8 years ago at this point, something like that, some crazy amount of time. What's your thoughts on the X-Men? Is that a movie that you are excited for? Is that a team that you're a fan of?
Oh yeah, I love the X-Men. I feel like X-Men, it's like something that I don't talk about as much as I should. I
Sure.
feel kind of the same way about Fantastic Four up until this point, but because I feel like I like the X-Men and Fantastic Four like respectively more than like the Avengers that we usually get.
Oh, sure.
So the X-Men, like I grew up with X-Men, so I'm open. I would love some like new X-Men with like modern day kind of actors and storylines,
Yeah.
and some new cool CGI. I feel like now that we're in this era where we're like so ready to embrace like silly comic book stuff,
Yeah.
as we saw in the movies like this month. I think X-Men can really thrive in that environment. So, you got like Glob Herman walking around. You got like, Nightcrawler is just like blue. And yeah, they did Nightcrawler before, but I feel like you could really crank it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's like, so I'm excited. Just like, and especially with Jake Schreier. I think that's how you pronounce it.
That's
Um, like Thunderbolts. That's probably like as of right now, I think that's my comic book movie of the year, which I guess I'll talk a
agreed.
little more about when we talk Fantastic Four. But so I'm excited for anything really involving him.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like, they are my. I think they are kind of my Marvel team. Like that team kind of takes up my favorite Marvel characters of all time, and it was such a dry spell for such a long time for that team. And then when '97 came out last year, is that last year? I think yeah, that was last year. Like, that is now one of my favorite shows of all time. I
Yeah, it
adore
was
97.
incredible.
I could not believe, and like they have a bar that needs to be met. Like, it is going to be it's gonna be very hard to kind of keep up with that. But I do think it's very cool that we are kind of moving forward with this. They're already talking about casting. We already have a director. I would not be shocked if this is the first project of the Mutant Saga of Phase 7, and I think that could be a really, really cool way to kind of like launch this new era, this new kind of, not new universe obviously, but this new kind of rebooted, this new kind of recalibrated universe. And I think in a world where we were not allowed to have X-Men in the MCU for a very long time, I do think that's kind of fitting to be like, all right, they carried the like Marvel universe on their back for so long. Now let's get them right. Let's do them right. I'm curious about their inclusion in Doomsday and Secret Wars as well, because like I have iffy opinions on that movie and what that's going to be, and there's a lot of things surrounding that. But I do think the X-Men element is going to be very exciting. That's probably one of my more anticipated elements of that. I do think that movie is going to take the like super cheesy X-Men route. Like, I think those actors
I
are just
hope.
going to play. I do think those actors are just going to play the like '90s, not the exact version obviously, but like the '90s inspired, very comic booky, bright yellow and red suits version of those characters that they've always wanted to play. And then I think the MC version will be maybe a balance of the original movies and what has come prior, to find this happy medium, because I don't know if the like 97 version of the characters exactly would fit in the main MCU. Like, I think you have to streamline it and update it a little bit, and those original movies were too focused on making them very serious and very streamlined. There needs to be a balance, right?
Yeah.
You can tone them up while not making them like what they did with those movies. So like just a happy medium, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Well, also you can like I feel like Marvel they're gonna kind of have to look at it like now that we've had these like Fox movies for so long, we're also maybe gonna have to try and cater to like people who like
Nostalgic.
these.
Yeah.
So it's like I could see them like trying to do a blend of both like that.
Yeah, and which is why I think it's very important they don't do Logan for a while. Like, I think they need to because Hugh is like still doing it for now. I think Secret World is probably his final project. Hopefully,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So I think you have to like people still love him. So I think you need a couple years to let people like, all right, he's done. Stay over there. Let's focus on Scott. Let's focus on Jean. Let's focus on Rogue. Those kind of characters for a while. And I do think that officially it's being a young cast or casting young. That makes me very excited as well. I've pitched it being like, I kind of love this idea that this is like Marvel's Harry Potter almost, where like every couple years you get a new installment for like 10 years, and you are watching these kids grow up over the course of, this 6, 7, 8 movie journey or something until the end of this saga. Like, I think that's really, really exciting. And I think there's a lot of things you can do with those characters and them being younger. I'm curious, is it like First Class? Like, is it like your day one, or is it an established school you're just watching these kids? It's going to be very interesting, I think.
Yeah, I would love that, like seeing them like sticking with kind of like a core group and seeing them like progress over time.
Yeah, I think that'd be very cool. Um, Here's another one. Marvel is in no sense of urgency on developing Blade
I did
or
hear this.
a new Deadpool film. Okay, so I let's separate these because I think these are very different situations between the two. Deadpool, I think that means they're in no rush because I think he's in Secret Wars, right? I think he's in Secret Wars. I think he's maybe possibly in Doomsday. That one's I'm a bit more iffy on, but it would make sense to me that they're not in a rush right now because he's already involved in some other thing for them right now. Like, it makes sense, I think.
Yeah, I feel like the vibe after Deadpool and Wolverine, even I feel like before it even came out, like I feel like the vibe going around was like, okay, he's in the MCU, he
Mm-hmm.
can show up in like
Yes.
other like big things, but like this is probably the last Deadpool movie with
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, at least for a while, if they ever do another one. But like, I feel like he even said after that came out, Ryan Reynolds was like, yeah, he could be in like the background of like some movies, but we're not writing like a Deadpool 4 right now.
It's interesting, yeah, because like Ryan Reynolds has gone very back and forth. He's been like, "Oh no, there's no Deadpool forward. We are not doing that." And he said he wants a cameo in like these other people's movies. He's even said recently that he was writing an X-Men movie with like him and the X-Men teaming up, and like that was one of them. I was like, "Did you pitch that to Feige first before saying it online?" Like, I kind of felt like he was trying to sneak something in there or something. But yeah, I think that's another great point of like, maybe Ryan doesn't want to do another solo Deadpool movie. Like, he even pitched killing off Deadpool in like Deadpool 3. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that character. Blade, on the other hand, I've defended Blade a lot over the last couple of years because I do think it's ultimately a good thing it did not come out in Phase 4 and 5. I think it's for the betterment of that film, and the character that they waited until they got it right. I actually think this is a positive, though. I think what they mean by it not being rushed or there's not an urgency with it is I think Blade will be a very self-contained movie, which we don't see a lot in like the MCU. I think it's going to be. I think they're focused on, let's just make a really good movie that's not connected to Avengers or X-Men or Fantastic Four. It's over there, so there's no rush. Take as long time as you need and make a good movie. And I think as frustrating as it is for people, because I know people have been waiting, 2019 or something like that. I do think it's ultimately for the best.
Yeah, I think that could definitely be true. It is crazy to think that like I think Blade and Fantastic Four were like announced around the same time,
It was, yeah,
and Fantastic Four just came out, and that's considered
yeah.
long, and then you have Blade, you know. But I feel like I've been I did hear this news the other day, and I feel like I kind of gave me like a different theory. Like
Okay,
to me, that kind of is like, okay, we're very like aware that Doomsday is like basically being like put together like while they're
that's the focus.
while
Yeah,
while they're like filming the movie. They're like, so I doubt they know like the direction that this is going to lead in, except for the fact that we know that there will be X-Men. So I think
yeah,
outside of X-Men, like I literally, and maybe Fantastic Four, I literally think that they're like, we have no idea like what the universe is even going to be by the time we
fair.
get here. All we know is that they're X-Men, so we can work on this movie now. But as far as like Blade, it's like we don't even know what kind of Blade would like fit into this new universe that we don't even
Sure.
know what it is yet. So I mean, and maybe that's not giving them like enough credit, but I feel like just based on the Doomsday news,
Mhm.
it kind of makes you more confident that like, yeah, they're kind of like putting the ship together while it's sailing, you know, like.
Yeah, I'd be so curious to see the behind the scenes of it all, and we won't never obviously know like what's going on, to the full extent. But yeah, like I wonder, because I've said for a while, I think Kevin Feige is probably going to people one by one and being like, okay, listen, if you want off, now's your time, now's your chance. Do you want to do this for the next 10 years? Do you want to do this for? So I do think like the next couple of years are going to be fascinating in terms of like what does the MCU look like after Secret Wars? Like what does the Foundation look like? Like we just find out that they're probably going to get a new Iron Man, a new Steve
Right.
Rogers, and all that jazz. So like that's a lot as well. There's a lot of characters in motion right now that I have a feeling are probably never getting sequels or second seasons
Eternals.
or Eternals and Moon Knight and Miss Marvel and Hawkeye. Like it's there's a lot hanging right now, and if they can pull it off, like biggest props to them because they have a very uphill battle. This kind of just goes along with that, I guess. Jeremy Renner says he is sure that Hawkeye season 2 will happen. He keeps saying this. He keeps making this comment, being like, "It's coming, guys. Guys, don't you worry."
Well, but then there was that thing where he was like, they didn't offer me enough money.
They
And
already
I'm
money.
like, so does this mean you're not doing it? And then it's
Yeah.
like, no, they're probably just gonna offer him more money.
You know what I think happened there? Like, it sounds bad, but I just don't think he was the main character anymore. I think
No,
they were
I
probably like,
1000% agree. I think it wasn't a matter of like you're paying me less because of this accident. I felt like it was more like you're paying me less because this is probably more of like a
a
Kate
Kate
Bishop
Bishop series.
season,
Yeah.
which I would be down for. I mean, I still like,
I like Kate Bishop
Jeremy
more.
Renner Hawkeye.
Yeah.
But I would be more interested because I'm assuming we're probably going to be following Kate Bishop further than we're going to be following Hawkeye. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of her like sooner.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be curious because that's another aspect of it, like Young Avengers or Champions side of things, where it's like, I just, like what's going on there. Like I could see Clint cameoing in like some kind of like Champions project or something, but like he wouldn't be the main
Oh
character.
yeah, yeah.
Like he wouldn't be the feature, and I don't know if he'd like that. I do wonder if he's maybe a little sad that he's not like, this is like projecting a little bit, but like maybe not the star of this universe as he used to be. Like he kind of feels like he's kind of on the back burner a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't wanna put words in his mouth. That's just like bullshit that I'm just like throwing on him. Okay, final one here, and then we will move on to our main thing here. And this one is very interesting to me. Marvel Studios is holding the July 23rd, 2027 date on the release calendar. So there was a couple dates that were like floating around. There were
Right.
several. One was like February of like next year, and I think that one's. I think we're too late on that one. I think that one's just gonna kind of fall through.
Yep, sorry.
We've theorized a lot on this show. Like, we think there's one secret movie that we don't know about yet that will be before Secret Wars or before Doomsday, but I think that's, again, I think that clock has kind of run short on that side of things. But it makes sense because there is currently only one announced movie for 2027, which is Doomsday. I'm sorry, which is Secret Wars. So it would make sense if there is one, if not possibly maybe two, depending on what they want to do, right? We don't know yet. What is a project that you think could be there before Secret Wars? This could possibly be the final movie before this universe kind of all comes to a close as we know it. What are some projects that you think could be in that spot?
At first when I saw this, I feel like I saw it today and I was like, I have no idea. But then I kind of thought about it and I'm like, I feel like it could either be Strange Academy, which I feel like we've been hearing some rumblings of,
Sure.
or that maybe will be a TV show and it's actually Doctor Strange 3, which I feel like people kind of forget that like Doctor Strange for Marvel right now, like that last movie, I really like it, but I feel like critically it was not super well received, and it still made like $900 million.
Yeah.
So it's like Doctor Strange is someone that they're gonna try and keep in their pocket. I think even after Secret Wars. So
agreed.
yeah, I that's what I think Doctor Strange 4, unless there's like anything else super obvious that I'm like not thinking of.
And like even then, like the last one came out 2022. This would be 2027. That's a large
5 years later. And the second one came out 6 years after the first one.
And like it would make sense, like in terms of like we don't know if he's in the movie yet. We haven't heard anything about him filming. He even said at one point he's not in it, and he's like, sorry guys, I take that back, and he went back and forth for a while. So maybe he's like, maybe they told him about Doctor Strange 3, but he thought it was Avengers or something. Like I think that's a really, really smart like bet. Like that's probably what I would put my money on. I guess I wouldn't put my money past Black Panther 3. I don't think it would be. They've talked about scripts. They talked about things working. You know, they've talked about putting things together. So it could be. I don't think this is it either. But also, I could maybe see if they did like a surprise Young Avengers or something like but like that would be like a baller move to do 3 Avengers movies in a row. But they haven't announced any Young Avengers for Doomsday yet, so it's like it could kind of be cool. Like maybe that's their way of like doing 3 Avengers movies, but they're not Avengers movies, right? It's like, oh, this is a kind of a subclass over here, or maybe you call it Champions or something, so it doesn't have that Avengers name in the title or something. But I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I could definitely see Black Panther 3. I feel like that is definitely like, because they had like Denzel saying that he's in it, so like they're already like thinking of stuff like that. So like that seems very likely. Young Avengers, I feel like I had more faith in that, a while ago, but now Kevin Feige, with the way he's like, we're trying to separate the shows and the movies, I'm like, shoot, does that just like kill Young Avengers, or do they have to like make it a Disney Plus show now? So yeah, or maybe they'll do like a special presentation or something like that.
Sure.
But yeah, so I feel like I feel like Black Panther, Doctor Strange, I could definitely see.
I don't think this is it at all, but just to throw it out there, maybe a Thor 5, possibly.
Oh yeah, I feel like Kevin Feige was also kind of giving the impression that like he's not done either, even though I feel like he could be done and it would like make sense. Like,
I could. It's interesting though because like Chris Hemsworth, they recently said that he's going to be the like co-lead of Avengers Doomsday.
Right.
So maybe you wouldn't want to like that's a lot of work on Chris Hemsworth to do like 2 Avengers movie plus a Thor solo movie. Like that's a lot. Maybe a Shang-Chi, but also I think they might want to wait till after. I don't know. But yeah, no, that's gonna be kind of like a wait and see kind of situation. Let me go through a couple of these comments here, and then we will move on to our main.
Oh, Nice.
Deadpool 4 equals give us enough money and we'll do it. And no, I think, like, I will say, even if Ryan wants to be done, I don't know if they would let him easily, because that did make $1 billion.
Yeah, he's also someone where I feel like it's not about like how much money they're throwing at him to do it. I feel like it's more like,
Sure.
actually, I feel like the character, he, like, you know, you can feel how you want about his Deadpool, but I feel like it does seem kind of close to, you know, his sleeve or whatever the expression is. Like,
Yeah, he
so
cares very much about
I feel like
Deadpool.
it wouldn't be like, I don't want to do it. Oh, they're paying me, so I'm gonna do it now. You know?
Sure. But I do think they would at least put pressure on him. Like, I think they would be pestering him, like, maybe not straight away, but after a while be like, hey, so you want to do another one? Do you want to, do you want a cameo? Do you want to whatever? Short Car said, I'm fine with them not rushing Blade, but they shouldn't have announced it in 2019. Yes, but that is not the current regime's fault, I guess. That was like Bob Chapek's pushing that was their model. He was from a theme park era where that's kind of how you did business, where you announce things early and get people excited. Half of the projects that they announced, they were not ready to make. They were not ready for Fantastic Four. They were not ready for Blade. They were not ready for Secret Invasion. They were not ready for Armored Wars. That was also announced too. So it's like they were clearly just being like, just do, like, forcing people to like do this, like announce this, and it's very clear. The like more we hear about the behind the scenes and what Kevin Feige was going through at the time and how he stretched thin, that it was a mess at the time.
Armor Wars.
I wish.
I was so excited.
That could have been so cool.
I needed more War Machine.
Oh my gosh!
Throw Ironheart in there too, maybe. Did you like Ironheart?
I did.
I
liked it
also
a
liked
lot.
it. I liked it a lot.
It's not
too.
perfect. It has issues, but I think that's more about.
But I thought it was great.
The formula, I
was watching it and I was like, why does this look so much better than like Daredevil?
Well, yeah, because they had like 3 years to work on
to polish that baby up.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't blame them for announcing it 2019, considering they wouldn't have known about writer's strike, and that is another really good point. We had writer's strikes and COVIDs and Jonathan Major stuff, which I don't know if that would have played a part.
That's like 2 years off the board, pretty much.
Maddie said Shang-Chi probs. Yeah, I can see it. I wouldn't be completely. You know what? I actually wouldn't be completely shocked, because I heard that he's about done filming for the movie already. So, which is a little sad, because that means yeah. Like, it seems he's
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
So it's like, I'm wondering how. That makes me sad, because I really want to see more of him. But like, maybe he doesn't have a huge role in the movie, so maybe they're like, well, wrap up and then go film something for us. Because that's another one. That was also 2022, so that would have also been about 5 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It might have. Was it 2021 even?
I think it was.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but like.
Yeah.
So
it was the year after,
like 7 years, or who knows.
It was the year before Doctor Strange. So yeah, Jesus, I feel bad for him. He deserved, like, he could have had 3 movies by now, or like, going on 3 movies.
Have you ever seen that YouTube video of him like being stabbed in the belly button? Oh my god, dude! It's like this probably 15-year-old video that he made. It has to be like some kind of fetish thing, but it's just like him getting stabbed and like wriggling around on the floor for like 5 minutes.
I've seen the stock photos that he's done.
The stock photos too. He's such like a funny like character to me, and I thought Shang-Chi was awesome. So like,
I did
sure,
too.
man, I'll take more of it.
I loved it. Short Car said doubt it, but could it be Guardians 4 without Gunn? I don't. I mean, I'm not saying they won't do Guardians 4. I just don't think it's right now. I think that's a movie that there are so many characters without conclusions, without like storylines that are going on. I don't think they would bury up one that's currently wrapped up, if that makes sense.
I will say, I feel like I heard Vin Diesel say something recently about like how he's been doing more Groot stuff for Disney, and I'm like, are the Guardians about to be in like Doomsday? I'm like, or maybe it's just like I Am Groot season 2 or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Well, I don't think it was ever announced, but I don't know if you saw this. He said that he wanted to do like a Groot solo movie where it was it was like Pixar meets Marvel, which I was like, all right, whatever.
I feel like the crazy thing is that would probably like make crazy bank. I feel like people would go
It could
see a
be
Groot
good.
movie.
Like
Like
it
a,
could be
like
bad,
a
but it
Pixar
could
kind of Groot
also.
movie. I feel like kids would eat that up.
I'd kind of, I would be against it. I don't
Oh,
want it right now.
I wouldn't want it, but I'm just saying like
I,
metrics wise, I could
oh
see that.
sure,
I could see that doing like better than like people would expect.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. It's gonna be I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. Already, let's get into kind of the meats and potatoes of today's episode. We finally have Fantastic Four first steps.
Fantastic Four.
Oh my gosh, I love the music in this movie so much. I that like the little the whole like opera theme that they have at the end of all the trailers and stuff. It
It's still
lives in
stuck
my
in my
head.
head.
It's so good.
It's never leaving.
So yeah, Fantastic Four is out. It's been out for about a week. But just in case anyone has not seen it yet, go watch it. Come back to this. We are going to be talking. We're going to be going into, maybe not immediately, but we are going to be talking about spoilers here for the movie. Let's just kind of go off the bat, just like really quickly. Like, you're a pretty big Fantastic Four fan, from what I could gather. What was your feeling about the movie going in, and kind of like what was your feelings on the characters as a whole, from the comics to the movies to this newest movie and stuff like that?
So I am like a pretty big Fantastic Four fan. I feel like over the last, I mean, I loved them as a kid. I still love those, like the older 2000s movies.
Mm-hmm.
I even watched like Fanforstic again recently, and
No.
it is what it is, I guess. But like, I think, no, I love the Fantastic. I even watched the 90s cartoons for Fantastic Four.
Sure.
So, but I feel like before Fantastic Four was coming out, I was very consumed in like the Superman hype.
I agree.
And I kind of knew that like after I saw Superman, like I'm sure I would be more excited for Fantastic Four. And Superman I did like a lot, but I feel like it kind of left me, at least like as far as the characters went, like I kind of wanted a little bit more out of it. And I feel like I became increasingly excited for Fantastic Four like as the days went by. And I saw it, or wait, should we give like the review now? Should I review?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I saw it and I liked it. I really liked it. I was like, this is a solid like 8 out of 10 movie.
Yeah.
I could tell there was probably a lot cut from it.
Mm-hmm.
Where's John Malkovich? But like, and then I saw it a second time in IMAX.
Yeah.
And I walked out of it and I was like, wow, that was actually like kind of fantastic. That was kind of fantastic. But yeah, I feel like as time goes by, I honestly grow like fonder of the movie, and I really enjoyed it. So, as a Fantastic Four fan, I am like satisfied. I will say that, and we'll delve a little deeper into that. But as a baseline, I am satisfied.
I think I share most. Yeah, I think I share that kind of opinion. Because like, just go, I guess my basis, I'm not like the most knowledgeable on Fantastic Four outside of the main media that I have seen of just like the early 2000s movies, unfortunately Fanforstic, and then the very short amount of like the animated stuff I've seen. Like I think I've seen a little bit of the like 2005 show. I think it's 2005, the early 2000s one. And like Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and like a lot of like the anime. Like I know of them, they are in my consciousness, but I have not dived into comic stuff or like a lot of the other stuff that I should have probably gotten more into. But Rise of the Silver Surfer, I'm pretty sure is the first comic book movie I ever saw.
I have very old memories of that one as well.
I don't even know if it was the full thing, but like I have a very vivid memory of the like wedding sequence with Johnny going up, like fighting the like Silver Surfer like that is ingrained into my mind, and I do I do think that's what made me love movies, because I do remember like seeing that sequence being like, this is the greatest thing I've ever
Oh
seen
yeah, I thought it
in my
was
life.
the coolest thing ever.
It's like
When he like tells Johnny to take off, and he's like, "This is Dolce," and then his suit
flame
like
on and
burns
just
off.
going up.
Oh,
Like,
oh man, that's what this one was missing. I will say, we needed a flame on.
we needed a flame on. I wonder if they're waiting for like
Uh,
Avengers
I
or
was just
something.
reminded today that Joseph Quinn even said in like an interview that he was like practicing his flame
That's
on. I'm
right.
like, where is the flame on? Did they cut it? Was it
Uh,
in the movie? Are they saving it? Yeah, it was.
I
Yeah.
wonder if they're saving it. I wonder if they're like, oh, Avengers Secret War. They're probably saving it for like a team up thing with the other Johnnies or some shit. It's like Michael B. Jordan, Chris Evans, or they. I
Oh
don't. They're probably
God.
doing
Yeah,
some
they all
shit.
flame on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like I was very excited for this one. For like a minute though, I was like, there was that like year almost where we got no news on the movie, and I was getting so pissed about just like,
I honestly don't even like. I know that happened, but I
yeah.
can't even like remember what it was like in that era anymore.
That's
Like,
fair. That's fair. There was just that like frustration of every week there being a new like, this is who is going to. It's Adam Driver. It's
I do
it's
kind of
blah blah
remember
blah.
that.
And it's
Yeah,
like
Adam Driver.
it was like a whole year of that, and I was just so I was like, you know what? I cannot get excited for a movie when it's like 3 or 4 years of just like, oh, it's going to be like this. It's like, all right, show me literally anything. And then when that first poster came out with the like that like blue retro with Herbie and Pedro Pascal and like
Oh
that
yeah,
official poster, I was like,
yeah. Like it was Valentine's Day, I
it
think.
was Valentine's Day of
Yeah,
2023. Yeah, I think it was
that
Valentine's Day of
must have
last
been.
year.
Wow. Yeah.
So like that was, I think ever since then, it's like they locked in. It felt like they were like, all right, let's get our shit together. And because that's when Bob Iger he kind of like just came back and there's like, get your shit ready. Like, I don't know what the hell you're doing. This is Fantastic Four. Get
Make
your shit
Fantastic
in gear.
Four.
Yeah. And it felt like they like once it was like once it got the ball rolling, it was like, oh, this is great. Everything they're saying sounds incredible. So and I did kind of feel very similarly to you, where I didn't forget about it, obviously, but like with Thunderbolts in May, and from there it was all Superman, and like the weeks following was also Superman. It was consuming my every
Yeah.
being. Till the week of, I was like, fucking Fantastic Four this week. Like, what the hell? Like, it's probably the least excited I've been for like an MCU movie in a while. Not because I wasn't excited, just because my mind
Yeah.
was elsewhere. I was not focusing on the
Just like
movie at all.
circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I would agree with most of what you said. I think this is a really, really good movie. I think there's a lot to love in a movie like this. It's not my favorite MCU product.
For sure.
By the way, where where is it on your MCU list? Just like, is it like top 10?
Let me pull up the letterbox here
Okay.
and see where I put it. See where I put
feel
it.
like I've been feeling so self-conscious because mine's a lot lower than a lot of people, like a lot of my friends, and I'm like, oh man, is this a hot take? Like, is it like,
Okay. Okay, so I have a list of like every MCU movie ranked, and I just like add the new ones to it. So there's 37 on the list. I have it at number 12. So yeah,
okay,
I think that's pretty reasonable given how many
yeah,
like MCU movies there are. Like Thunderbolts, I have is like 4 on here. I love
wow,
Thunderbolts.
yeah,
But yeah, Fantastic Four. I was like, man, I wish I could put this a little higher, but it's like there were some problems, but I
yes.
still like really love this movie. I think it's in like the right spot, you know.
It's my 17, and I feel really bad.
Okay, that's reasonable. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wish there were less movies so I could put this higher because I really liked it, and I'm rooting for the Fantastic Four. But like, yeah, like I can't put it in the top 10.
It is really, yeah. Like, we are in an era now where like there are so many movies. Like, that's not even counting TV shows. If you count TV shows, we're in the 50s. We're like almost 60 products. Not to mention if you count like Netflix stuff, that's in the 70s.
Oh yeah,
like,
season by season. That's yeah.
It is a lot, and yeah, like it is hard for movies to kind of really touch that like top 10 era for me, which Thunderbolts did. Thunderbolts is also in my top 10, which is I was not expecting going into the year.
Good man.
I like that was not. I don't think that was on anybody's bingo card. Like I was excited, but to say it's better than, in my opinion, Fantastic Four and Superman is crazy to me. I was not expecting that.
I definitely anticipated it cracking top 10, but then when I saw it and I was like putting it on the list, I was like, shoot, I just keep like putting this higher and higher. I'm like, this is in the
Yeah.
top 5. Yeah.
No. Yeah. No. I think that's very fair. I mean, yeah. Let's kind of dive in a little. I don't even know where to start because this movie is. There's like there is a lot of things I guess to kind of go over. I mean, let's just talk about the cast first. I feel like that's a good kind of starting off point. We have 4 incredible cast members. We have Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss, Joseph Quinn. Sorry, Joseph Quinn. All cast in this movie. What's your kind of thoughts on like the main cast of this movie and how they portray these characters?
I was pretty on board for almost all of them. Like Pedro is Reed. I feel like a lot of people kind of like started attacking that one like
Yeah.
first, and they're like, oh, just like more Pedro Pascal, like another Pedro Pascal thing, and it's like, no, I feel like he could really encapsulate kind of like this like Jonathan Hickman like era Reed,
Yeah.
where he's like, you see more of like his thought process and like why he does what he does, and it's like I feel like Pedro's capable of that, so I was very happy with him. Joseph Quinn was definitely like, I was like right off the bat I was not on board. I
Oh,
was
interesting.
like, I was not on board. I was like, I feel like they could have gotten someone like maybe like either younger or like more like, I don't know, like charismatic in like a different way, kind of. Um, but honestly, like now that I see the kind of angle that they went with him in the movie and kind of making him like more mature and like kind of less silly, I think he probably came out of this as like my favorite. I think performance wise, I think all of them are probably like kind of tied for me, except for The Thing. I feel like I love the actor for The Thing. I'm so glad they cast a Jewish thing and they had the scene with him going in the synagogue, but they just didn't give him a lot to do, so I didn't. I didn't. I can't like scale him the same as the other 3, but yeah, I was very happy with the entire cast, I will say.
I would definitely agree. I think Pedro was the one I was very hesitant on, not for anything specific, just because he is a very different kind of Reed than we've ever seen before. And I had said, I don't know how I felt yet, but I hope he proves me wrong. Like I was so excited for him to prove me wrong, and he did. And like he did that way before the movie came out. Like just by trailers, I was like, oh, yeah, that works great. He's incredible, and I feel like, Pedro's getting a lot of hate right now for various things I don't think really matter ultimately.
Oh
But
God, yeah.
I think like I think he's a fantastic actor. Like I think he has a lot of range that people don't talk about. Like I don't like when I see Reed, I don't see Mandalorian or Game of Thrones.
Oh,
or
100%.
Joel. Like they all feel so different in how he plays those characters,
and they all have kind of like similar like things, like with protecting like a kid or like a child, and he plays them all like so differently. Yeah, he's really an impressive guy.
Agreed. Yeah, and like Ebon Moss is, I think, a perfect casting. I'm glad my fan casting didn't come true. Years ago, I said like David Harbour, which I think he could have done a good job, but I am so
I kind of liked what's it Jason Segel. I thought that he could have maybe been like a funny thing. Like I don't know.
It could have, and like
but yeah.
We could probably go into it later, like more into it later. But yeah, I do think The Thing is one of them that got the most butchered on the editing room floor. Like there was clearly more of an arc for him and more of a strength for him. And I don't think it ruins the movie, but it is definitely one of those like kind of have to check it off. Be like, yeah, it's one of the things that is kind of a. I don't even know if I want to say issue, but it is definitely a very noticeable. Like, man, hey, everyone else got a lot of cool things to do. And like, I really like. I don't even feel like they needed to do much more, but I think there was they're really close to telling the story about like him being the rock of their group, him being the like foundation. But even your foundation needs someone to lean on every once in a while, and I feel like we're really close to getting to that point.
Yeah, I
But
need to
it's like
see whatever that scene was that they cut with him and
there,
Sue, because I feel
yes,
like that totally would have been a. I think we got a little hint when he was like talking to Reed. I really liked that scene, but
yes, that
I
was
feel
really
like
good.
we could have gotten even more of that. Like,
Yeah, yeah, because yes, because I think like we kind of skipped over quite a few of their like early day stuff, but I am not. I have no problem with that. Like we've already kind of done that
it
stuff,
was
so
a
we
fun montage.
yes, exactly,
It
and
got me
like
hyped.
I've seen a lot of people be upset. We're like, oh, we don't get to see him mad that he's a rock and blah blah blah. But but I think there was a really cool opportunity to be like, yes, he's not like he has been able to move on from that and accept this. That doesn't mean he's not still insecure about
Yeah,
his stuff. And they were, I think, really teasing to that with what is it, Roz, your like love interest character,
yeah,
and like
yeah,
that could have been an interesting angle of like I this is who I am, but I am never going to be one of you, and I'm never going to be able to have that life that I want to have, that Reed can have, that Sue can have, that Johnny can have. That's not me. Like there was cut stuff that had him like going on like like a love show, like a first
yeah,
date love
yeah,
show. Like there was stuff there that I think could have made that a lot more complex and interesting. That like I get it's a runtime thing, but it was under 2 hours. I think these
yeah.
movies are really afraid to go over that 2 hour mark for
Yeah, this and Superman, I was kind of bummed. I was like, I kind of want listen, people had no problem when the Batman was like 3 hours
3
long.
hours.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, like with the thing, it's like, yeah, it's like I bet when they're in the editing room and they're like, okay, what do we cut? They're probably their first go to is like, okay, maybe the crazy expensive shots with like the big CGI
Um,
man made out of rocks, which is
yeah.
unfortunate. But like, yeah, I honestly think like the little mini arc that he might have had about like self acceptance or whatever. I think we'll see more of that when he goes to the
The
MCU
main timeline.
dimension,
Yeah.
and we kind of see what it's like when he's not in a world where like everybody loves the Fantastic Four,
Loves
and
him. Yeah.
they're probably like, "What the heck are you, dude?" Like,
They're yeah, because that is going to be very interesting because they're going to be nobodies. I
right?
assume.
Because it's like they have the Hulk and whatever, but I feel like they would still be like, "What the like? What are you?" Like,
Well, like the MCU right now is very like we are heading to anti superhero stuff. Like we have like everything with
right,
Daredevil,
exactly.
mutants are coming, so we're probably going to be living in a world that is like at least very anti-mutant, and like
Probably,
the
yeah.
thing looks like a mutant. Like he will not be accepted into society. You know what I mean? So I feel like that
Yeah.
might lead into like the overall narrative that we're heading for in the mutant saga. That should be very very fascinating. But yeah, no, like, and it sucks because he's like in terms of like personality and scenes, he was my favorite character in the movie. Like in terms of what they gave him, I was like, he's such a fun character to be around, and like you love there's a fantastic scene with like him and Johnny being like, well, I'm not going to go find her. No, you need to go
Yeah,
find
yeah.
her. No, you
Oh,
like
thanks.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he's so likable and fun, and like they have this chemistry on screen that you adore, and like every time it's like him and Johnny bantering, going back and forth. It's like that is so like that to me is what makes the movie is like these four characters being able to just bounce off each other. And that's something I think a lot of modern MCU stuff sometimes misses. Not everything, obviously. We did it with like Thunderbolts this year, but sometimes it's so like we're just doing the plot, we're doing the plot. They forget that these are real characters that have these lives, that have these ideas, and they bounce off each other like you would in those like early Avengers movies and Guardians movies and stuff like that. That I love from my superhero content. I love when characters can just like breathe and live, and like again, just
Yeah.
their banters and stuff like that was like, oh, this is incredible. I love this.
And it wasn't like too like quippy or anything either. Like I think it all
Yes.
felt like very organic. Like I will admit like not all of the humor in this movie like landed for me.
Mm,
And
interesting.
I think that was something that kind of like tampered my experience a little bit, but I think one thing I will say is it all felt very like natural and like
Yes.
organic and like what they would say to each other. Especially with like Johnny and the thing, I really liked how it seemed like they were kind of more like they were like buds, but like they still like goofed around and like messed with each other. And
Yes.
it's not like in the you know old movies where they're like torturing each other and like
Oh
pranking
yeah,
each other like in a whole montage. But yeah, so I liked their relationship
yeah,
enough. I liked it enough. I will say.
yeah. I think the humor could have broken this movie. Like I think if you would have done the traditional MCU humor that people talk about a lot, it could have really dragged it
Yeah, because
down.
it would have reminded you like, oh wait, this is still like an MCU movie. Like, like it kind of would take you out of the Fantastic
Yeah,
Four of it all. I feel like.
for sure. And like I think this movie has a very specific tone that I don't want to say we haven't seen in the MCU because we have, but one that feels very different because it is layered in that like retro future aesthetic that's so interesting because everything is so bright and colorful and happy, but like when that tone sits in, when it's you are all going to die, you will not be here tomorrow, like that, like mixed with that tone is really really good. And I think if they hit you over the head with that humor, I don't think you could take that tone seriously. I don't think that would work. But when it is there, I think there's a couple that I was like, maybe that one could have been out. But like I love that joke with like Johnny when like he's talking about the like Silver Surfer. It's like, I get it, Johnny loves women, I love space. Like that's not what this is. And it's
Yeah,
not like, it's just like part of the like dialogue. It fits pretty naturally to me. It's not like, oh, let's pause for a
right.
joke.
I
It's like,
I, I
this is the
agree.
scene. Yeah. So I think like that stuff, and yeah, like there is a couple where it's like maybe that one line or a couple lines here and there. Maybe that threw it off a little tiny bit here and there, but I think for the most
Yeah,
part it works very well. What you think about Sue?
I've been waiting to talk about her. I think Vanessa Kirby, that was like, she was probably the most like, her and the Ebon Moss Backrack were probably the
Mhm.
two most like accepted. Is like, okay, yeah, that I'm glad
That's good.
like she's Sue Storm. And in the movie, like she really is, I feel like, kind of like the
The heart.
core of
Yeah.
this movie. Like, it is very much a movie about all of them, but I feel like Sue is really like, she kind of makes the movie with kind of like
Yeah.
she kind of brings more emotion to it, more like depth. We see how like her being a mother while also like being responsible for like protecting the planet kind of clashes. Um, but yeah, I think I just thought she was like great. And I was expecting a lot of people to kind of complain about her like pushing Galactus and like
Yeah.
being able to do that, and I'm kind of glad everybody is kind of just like, no, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I think it shows how powerful she really is because I feel like people kind of look over her. She's like, yeah, she could just turn invisible, and like she
right,
does have this very powerful character when it comes down to it. Probably the most powerful out of the four,
yeah,
from
she
what
can
I
like fight the
gather.
Avengers, like
Yeah,
she yeah, and that was definitely like her big like action set piece of the movie for sure.
sure. Yeah, no, I think she's fantastic. I take a drink every time we say it, but no, like I think she's very good. And like I'll be honest, I was kind of afraid going in when they announced she was pregnant. Not that that's a bad thing, but I was worried that
Right,
she
like,
would
are we gonna
be
miss out on
introduced
some Sue?
that, and it just be like, oh, she's the mother of the group, and she is,
Yeah.
sure, like she for sure is, but also yeah, like yeah, she is co-leads with Reed for a
Oh yeah.
reason, and she honestly, I'd argue it almost makes her more badass. Like the whole sequence when like they're in
Oh
space and
yeah.
she's giving birth and they're trying to escape Silver Surfer while giving birth, while trying to get out of the black hole, and she saves them. Like she turns the whole ship invisible while giving birth. Like that is insane. That is
I
probably
mean,
one of the
even
craziest
before
feats.
that, like when the surfer like takes like all the other three out, and Sue is like they're like
Yeah,
contracting, and she like pushes the surfer off the board and
yeah.
like whips her against the walls. I was like, holy shit, like that was awesome. Like, and then you get
That
that awesome scene with her giving birth to Franklin, like as they
yeah.
go to like light speed or whatever. I'm like,
It
holy.
is. I mean, just going to space pregnant at all is crazy to me. Like
Yeah, and
that,
they even say in the movie, like, everything that we're about to do, it's like the first time a pregnant woman has ever done any of this.
it is insane.
I
Like if
actually
I
really
was,
appreciate that they threw that in there, because it's like, yeah, that would be like a thing people would say. Like,
yeah, like it is. a little silly on the basis of like, okay, how do we get her into space while being pregnant? And it's
Right,
just like,
like,
no,
this
she
is
had to.
urgent.
Yeah, no,
Like,
for sure. And I think I think that might be the peak of the movie, to be honest, with the everything with them in space, like finding Galactus, that light speed chase, like with the Silver Surfer, and then like that, like the like 10 minutes it turns into like Interstellar is like kind of incredible. Like I think it's some of the best Marvel we've had in a minute, to be honest.
it was amazing. It felt like all four of them were like working in tandem. Like, Johnny was shooting the guns, Ben's flying the ship, Sue's giving birth, Reed is like,
Yeah.
stabilizing her and like stretching all over the ship and like yeah, it was oh man, it was so good. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Like the more time passes, I feel like I just find more things to like enjoy about the movie and I
Mm-hmm.
can like keep appreciating like how great these scenes are.
Yeah, I think like I do think that's ultimately kind of where I'm at with it. And Connor, we will read your thing in a second here. But like I think everything that's here is incredible. I just think it's what wasn't there, I guess, would be kind of my
Exactly.
main thing. It's like I want a little. I just like you are so. To me, I would call this movie really, really good. It's not great for me. Just it's like an edge away from it being in that
That
great.
100%, I feel
It's
that.
like you're so close, and I'm not like mad about it. Like there's MCU movies where I'm like, man, why did they do this? How, what were they thinking? It's like no, capable movie. I'm not blaming anyone for anything in this movie. Like I think everyone did exactly what they could have under the circumstances. Like I think they made the best movie they could have. It just I just a little bit more.
One or
Um,
two things I feel like could have really been a game
yeah,
changer here. Like,
for sure. My good buddy Exit over here. I did mostly enjoy the movie. Sorry, the film. Let me get your wording right. Cast was great. Music was amazing. Music was incredible. Visuals
oh yeah.
were in space unbelievable. Just wish it wasn't as cut up overall. Wish it didn't feel safe. And usual Marvel at the end. Let's talk about the whole safe thing because I do
Yeah,
agree.
I want to get into that.
I do agree, and I think like while the third act was happening, I was like, this is awesome. This is like really sick. But there was something at the back of my brain that was tugging at me that was like something's not 100% there, and I still don't even know if I fully know like what I would do differently in a lot of it. Because I understand why they did everything that they did, but yeah, there was I think a little bit to be desired in terms of like how they wrap the movie up and kind of where they ultimately end it. How are you feeling on like that side of things?
Well, I feel like safe in the sense that like, yeah, the third act, maybe there could have been something like a little extra in there to kind of give it a little more oomph, even though like still that third act, like I was still like so like taken
It's still
aback when I'm
very
seeing like
cool. Yeah.
Galactus like walking through the city. They're like the things freaking throwing trucks at him, and Johnny's lighting him on fire, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, this is what I
This
came
is
here to
this
see.
is pretty cool. Yeah.
Dude, and he throws the thing into space. I was like, whoa, that's so crazy. They just casually threw that in there. But
Yeah.
but yeah, but like then safe. I've been seeing a lot of people complain that like they wish that the Fantastic Four like lost, and
Hmm.
that it's that's how they get to the MCU. But it's like I feel like that would take away from like this as a story
This
if
individual.
they give
Yeah.
us all this like I won't sacrifice the Earth for my son and vice
Yeah.
versa.
That's
I
fair.
feel like
Yeah.
we would have lost that all if it's just like, all right, we lost. Let's pack it up.
Yeah.
let's go. Let's go to the MCU. Like, so yeah, I was like pretty satisfied with the third act, especially on the second time. I feel like the first time, I maybe a lot of times I feel like I enjoy movies more on rewatch because I know what to
Agreed.
expect.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting like a lot more than what they give, so it's like
Mhm.
okay, then I'm like appreciating this for what it is. But yeah, so I liked the third act. Like I said, like I liked it enough. Like and I was happy.
Sure. I think like that was my pitch for like a year. Was like okay,
Yeah.
it's Galactus and the Eater, and like I think that is a just really cool in theory because it's like oh no like they lose, and like I like there being consequences in a story. Now having seen it though, I do think that would have probably been the wrong move. Like
It
I
could have
don't.
worked with a different like narrative. I feel like I think we were justified in thinking that it was a possibility for a while.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't think the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, like, they definitely knew what they were doing,
Right,
putting that in
exactly.
there to be like, oh, they think this is what's going to happen, you know. And you know, I do think, you know, I think most of the MCU main heroes get to kind of have their first movie and it be theirs, and it not having to be connected to like the large narrative of the Marvel universe, like Iron Man and Shang-Chi and Captain America. Like those movies are just theirs. So it is unfair for us to be like, yes, but their first movie should set up Avengers Doomsday. Like that's not exactly fair. I'm very concerned about like time wise because I thought that was like one less thing. Like I thought maybe everyone would already kind of be on the same playing field come Doomsday, and that is not the case. So that is a
Right.
lot of extra
Very
work that we're gonna
interesting.
have to do. But I do ultimately agree. I will say I was not a fan of, and I know why they did it. I know 100% why they did it because they needed to show off his powers. But I was not a fan of the Sue fake out death just because that is a trope that kind of bugs me in media where it's like, oh no, they are dead. Oh no, I can't believe this. And it's like, wait, did you move your, you know, like that is in like so many media that I watch, and it's like, all right, guys, I know you know, she has a chair in Doomsday. She's going to live. She's not going to die.
Exactly. I felt that
Part of
way
me,
about like Red Guardian and Thunderbolts too.
yeah,
I was like, he has a
part of me kind
chair.
of would have like I'm glad she didn't die, but like there's a part of me that would have like respected if they did and be like, oh shit, like
I
this,
thought they might have taken out Johnny and sent him to the wherever they were
yeah,
sending Galactus.
yeah,
And then like 0.5 seconds later, I was like, oh wait, Silver Surfer, and then she showed up and knocked him off course. But yeah, as far as like the fake out death, I think I did not. It didn't really work for me. I mean, it worked for me a little bit, but it didn't. It did. It was not great, and it was even less great because I don't know if you remember this, but that entire like 5 minutes of what that was literally almost beat for beat the ending of Rise of the Silver Surfer.
yeah,
The Silver Surfer sacrifices themselves to get rid of Galactus, and then Sue is seemingly killed, and she's brought back to life.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
And I was like,
And yeah, I think like it just bothers me because I love scenes like that when they're like when there's weight to it. You know what I mean? Like I love a good
yeah.
death scene. I adore a good death scene, and
Oh yeah.
it's a good death scene. Like
Pedro gave a very good performance. I will say, like, if she was really dead, that would have
like
hit.
like
Like,
like round two, I was getting like really emotional. It's like why she, you know, I know she doesn't die, but like the like performance of everyone, and I think Johnny kind of messes me up a little bit because you can tell he's in shock. I saw people being like, why wasn't Johnny sad? He was sad. He hadn't processed what had
just like
happened
him,
yet.
like showing up and like, she breathing? Like,
Yeah, no, it's like
I
he's
was like, wow.
processing it
If
in his
he like did
own.
that intentionally, I'm like very impressed that he was able to like sell that to me. Or maybe that's just
Yeah,
like not what they were going for.
and like yeah, there's this element that like he was ready to die like for this family, like he was going to do it. It's like
Oh
I
yeah.
imagine in his head is like no, like let me be the one that can do this for her.
Right, like
She's
they
supposed
were
to
not
be here.
expecting this to be
Yeah,
what happens.
yeah. We also have to remember that this film was delayed and in some stage of development since way before Doomsday was an idea. The Fantastic Four story was probably intended at 100%. Yeah, 100%. I'd be very. What was it? John Watts was doing like the original run
Yeah,
of it, right?
originally. But
I'd be
yeah.
fascinated just to see his style and like what that. I'm glad we got what you know the movie that we got, but I'd be fascinated to see like just like what he would have done with it would have been interesting. Like, let me go to
Yeah.
like a parallel universe and just get to watch that version for a second and hop back
Do
over
you think it
because
still would have been in a like do you think back in 2019 they were still thinking like this is going to be in another Earth?
mm, I don't know. I feel like
Cuz
it kind of
I
had
think about
to.
that a lot. I'm like what if they try making them like old like they were in the past and then they like time
It,
travel to the
it could have
future or
been
something
time
like that.
travel. I could have seen it being another Earth, but maybe not like retro future. You know, it being more like
Yeah,
modern
like
future kind of thing.
yeah, maybe like a Future Foundation kind of thing,
Sure.
even like. Yeah, I feel like it really could have been anything.
Yeah. But yeah, because like by 2019, like they still knew they were doing Multiverse Saga, right? Like that was still
Right,
the plan. So
I feel like them doing Doomsday wouldn't change much because Doom was barely included in this movie.
yeah,
So it's like I feel like it was probably the same as like when
yeah,
they were planning for Kang.
yeah. I guess we can bring up Doom just like while we're on the topic of it. I, I mean, okay. First, how are you feeling about like the whole Downey Doom situation? Because I know that's a very controversial subject matter.
I
I'll
don't
say
even know.
I'm still not 100% on board with the whole thing. I think
I don't think
it's
I've ever even like expressed an opinion on it. Like, I think I've been like so afraid to like, but no, I think it's yeah, I think it's like a misfire. But I am like, listen, for whatever reason, the Russo brothers can only make really good movies
yeah.
when they're making MCU
If there's
movies.
Marvel,
I
yeah,
feel like somehow they might rekindle that Infinity War magic, that
yeah,
Winter Soldier magic, and somehow weave a way for like this whole Robert Downey Jr. Doom thing to like make sense in a way that would satisfy me and a lot of other people as like people who want to see Reed Richards and Doom have like be the
yeah,
core of this story, but at the same time it's like you have all these other characters. It's like maybe that wouldn't have even been a possibility in the
yeah.
first place. So it's like, so yeah, I'm like pretty mixed on it. Like from what we have now, I'm like I literally don't know enough about it, I guess, to even
Sure.
like if they go full throttle and just like make Robert Downey Jr. do like a Romani accent and like then I'll be a little bit like, okay, why did we need to do this? But if it's like Doom, maybe he's like wearing Iron Man's face, or maybe that like it's like something like that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do not
I
know.
I
Yeah,
am yeah, I have been like obviously very mixed on it. Like I think there's positives and negatives to both, of course. But yeah, like I think this being the first I don't want to say good Doom, right? Because but like Doom hasn't had a fantastic track record. I think this being the main one for people in at least a more casual way is going to be very disappointing because people are going to be like, oh, this is what Doctor Doom is. Like Doctor Doom is just evil Iron Man. It's like, no, that's not what it is. And I feel like it being
yeah, right.
like
Let's not convince ourselves that that's what he is. Like,
yeah, and I feel like you're kind of undercutting. I've talked about this way too much, so like I won't stick on this, but like I think you're kind of undercutting it being Doctor Doom as a whole, and also just undercutting it like Downey being back. Like I think it'd be like pick a lane, either do Doctor Doom or have it be evil Iron Man. Don't
yeah,
combine those
I
into two
I
separate
feel like
things.
they really want they want a Doom that can like have weight with the Fantastic Four and like the MCU
And the
people at
end,
the same
yeah,
time. So it's like I guess if you look at it like that, it's like it makes sense, but it's like I don't know. I feel like you could have found another way.
I I've been very mixed on it, but also like I can also like see the other side of it and be like, okay, this is the last time that would probably be they'd be able to do like bring Downey back. So like I'm okay with
Right.
that aspect of it. There is something kind of cool that like the villain is Robert Downey Jr. and one of our heroes is like Tom Hiddleston, like Loki. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
fun that they're
I
like
do
switched
I do like
now.
kind of like that.
Like that's kind of fun. But yeah, like we had our first, I guess, kind of look at Doctor Doom at the end of the movie. He's seemingly, I don't know if he's taking Franklin, but he's doing something with Franklin, stealing his
Yeah,
powers.
who
I don't
knows?
know.
I feel like
Um,
I maybe this is like maybe like too like MCU fan thing to say, but I feel like they didn't give us enough with that credit scene. I
uh,
feel like I would have taken like 5 more seconds. Like,
it did feel
even
really
that,
short.
like
Yeah.
I feel like I was like, wait, maybe see like what Franklin's doing, or like I don't know,
Mhm.
like yeah. Also, wait, just a heads up, in like 5 minutes, I might have to
Okay.
like dip for like a few minutes,
Okay.
just like lock up the house. But yeah,
Okay.
it won't be long. But I'll let
Okay.
you
Cool,
know.
cool, cool. Yeah, I think like I don't know. I did feel a little underwhelmed with that scene, but that might just be because I kind of already assumed that was what the post credit scene was going to be. I guess for like a couple of years, it's like, oh yeah, Downey is going to. But I'm actually really shocked it wasn't like Downey himself. Like I honestly thought
they said that it was him like on set, but it's like, why would it be him on set?
Like, paying for him to be there. Why not just let him? Like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It's fine. It was fine. I guess I am a little. I don't want Franklin to just be the like MacGuffin of another, because like ultimately he was.
I feel like if he was still a baby, he would 100% be like the MacGuffin of the movie. That's why I'm kind of glad they aged him up a little bit.
They aged him up 4 years, which was
it gives him some
nice
agency, you know, like he can make a decision, you know.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'm wondering, like, I don't know. Like, I had read a lot of theories that, like, I thought a couple characters could have had that role. Like I even pitched like the MacGuffin being Loki. It, like, you know, Doomsday being the story about like several teams going to get Loki. You know, like Doctor Doom needs Loki and them having to kind of beat Doom to it. Like that's what I thought at one point. So again, I'm curious to see like what is his plan. I've heard people like theorize like, well, maybe there's someone dead that he needs revived and that's why he needs Franklin or something like that. Could maybe
maybe like his mom or something like that.
Sure,
that's usually like Doom's thing, like fighting Mephisto to save the soul of his mother.
Sure. Yeah. No.
Maybe Sacha Baron Cohen. Maybe he'll be involved somehow. Who knows?
For sure. Yeah. No. I think that's gonna be interesting. Again, like I said, I was a little not underwhelmed. Like I thought, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, you know, but like,
yeah, there were a lot of people in my theater that were definitely like, whoa,
freaking out.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was kind of like, all right.
It's like, cool, man. Yeah, it's, you know, I think that's just maybe a thing for me as a whole, because I'm not super jazzed about the whole Downey of it all. Like I think,
yeah, and I'm sure there are a lot of people like mainstream audience that know about it and are like excited for it. So I kind of have to put my brain like outside of the you know the fan space for a second.
Yeah, no, like casual audiences will think this is the greatest thing since sliced cheese, and I think that's
100%.
And like maybe I will, like, once a trailer comes up and I'll be like, all right, this is cool and stuff like that too. But like, I think out of every, like, I feel like I'm almost excited for almost every other aspect of the MCU right now. Like you know, like there's a lot of aspects of this movie I'm very excited for, but I do think like, not to stand this Downey thing too long because I don't want it to just be Secret Wars talk or you know like Doomsday talk, but like. I don't know. I think the first Avengers movie post Endgame also having Downey in it just pisses me off. Like
like they couldn't even do one.
I wanted one.
All we needed was one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And but if you say that, they're gonna be like, well, Thunderbolts was
their Avengers
movie. And like, yeah, sure on a technicality, but like, it's not like, you know, Sam Wilson, Captain America, and like Shang-Chi and whoever else you want on the Avengers. Like even with the Thunderbolts, it's like kind of going from Man of Steel to BVS. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm excited to see more of them, but it's like I would have rathered a Thunderbolts 2, and I would have rathered maybe like a Fantastic Four 2 as opposed to going right into Doomsday. But you know, things take a long time, and we are where we are. But yeah, so it's like you know, I've kind of lowered. You know, I've put myself in the headspace of like, okay, I guess this is just where we're at right now.
Yeah, no, there's like definitely like a bit of like almost a grieving process that you kind of had to go for. And again, most of it I don't think is their fault. Again, a lot of it was like we said earlier.
Yeah, it's a lot of external forces at work here.
Jonathan Majors was like, it was like 3 big booms. Not mean to quote.
Boom, boom, boom.
Not trying to quote TikTok, but like it was 3 big pillars that just really crashed down on them like, year after year. That just like, you know, like I think by technicality, I think they better than they had any right to be. Like I think under the circumstances, they could have been a lot worse. Phase 4 and Phase 5, like things could have turned out a lot worse.
Oh shoot. Okay, Darren, I have to go for like 5 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Hold down the ship.
I will hold down the fort. Let me find something else to talk about here just really quickly. Let's talk about Herbie. Let's do Herbie. I liked Herbie quite a bit. He didn't serve. It's interesting because I don't know, for like some reason I thought he was going to play a much bigger role in the movie than he did. I don't know why I thought that. I don't know. I felt like with all the marketing he was going to play a bigger role, but no, like he plays a very serviceable role. He plays as that like, oh yeah, like bring your kids in and get their Herbie popcorn bucket, and I like that they treat him like a dog. I do like how they treat him like a member of the actual family though, which I thought was a nice addition. I like everything with like him and the Thing. I thought was like very, very wholesome and cute. Let me read some of these comments. Dexter soon, hell yeah, Dexter soon. Herbie was cool. Was Herbie their attempt at a Grogu or Crypto? I mean, of course. I'd say so. I think it's honestly, I would not be shocked if actually they really push a lot of these modern blockbusters to keep doing that, to be honest, as just like these like mascot characters that sell tickets and makes kids want to go to the movies. I don't think it's as effective as like a Grogu or Crypto. I think like if we're ranking mascots, I think Crypto easily destroys Grogu in the conversation. But no, I like him. Did he die? I guess he did, like when Galactus like crashes into the building and crushes him. I guess he did die there then, didn't he? Because we didn't see him after that. Or did we? I don't remember. Did we see him after the battle? Like 4 years later we see him, but it's probably like a new gen of it, huh? In like the post-credit scene, right? Okay. Interesting. So it's probably like Herbie 2.0 or something. Interesting. But no, I quite enjoyed Herbie in the post-credit scene, but that was directed by Russo's anyway. That is true. Which I didn't think needed. Okay, let's talk about that. They did direct the post-credit scene, and like I get the Avengers, or I'm sorry, the like Thunderbolts one, because that was a whole ass scene. That was like a whole like thing that they had to do. That was like a 3-4 minute scene. I didn't feel like the Russo brothers had to come in to direct that little. I think they would have been fine with the like just the director of this movie directing it, but I didn't see anything special in terms of like directing. That was like, oh, they needed to direct this, but maybe I'm also not a director, so maybe that's an ignorant statement on my behalf. But like also it is the first appearance of Doom, so maybe they wanted to be the ones to direct Doom for the first time. They didn't want that to go to anybody else. Who knows? Let me go through some of these. Gotta make those toys. Hell yeah, they have to make those toys. In the post-credit scene, but that was... Oh, I already read that, sorry. I respected this film's resistance with the usual Marvel humor, because it wasn't the standard MCU humor. There would have been 5 scenes of Goofy, Herbie... 100%, yeah. We talked about that a bit earlier, but yeah, like, I enjoyed most of the jokes here. Like, again, there was like 1 or 2 that I thought was a little... maybe not to their peak, some that maybe slowed it down like a little tiny itty bitty bit, but for the most part, I thought it was really good. Russia directing all MCU movies going forward, hell yeah. Herbie turned off the TV in the end credits scene. He did, yeah. Do you think we get Herbie in Avengers Doomsday? I feel like you almost have to. Like, again, I'll be curious about Doomsday. We're back on Doomsday, I'm sorry. But, like, I'll be curious because Kevin Feige did say that the Avengers will be going to their Earth. And it seems like, 828 will be a mainstay location, or at least one of the main locations for Avengers Doomsday. And if that's the case, it's going to be interesting. Like, how many Earths are going to be involved in the main story? Right? Like, I'm going to assume it's like 616... Fantastic Four, 828, and then the X-Men Earth. Like, is this movie kind of split between those locations? And it's, I wonder if they don't even collide in this movie, right? If it's like Avengers Thunderbolts are doing stuff from their POV, X-Men are doing things from like their POV, and the Fantastic Four are doing their things from their POV, and it all kind of collides in like the third act of the film, either in a big fight between them or Doom or whatever that third act is going to be. I wouldn't even be completely shocked if they add an extra, like, maybe 4 Earths is too much, but you do have also Deadpool and Wolverine's Earth out there. Like that is another location we might have to incorporate. Even if it's just for like a little bit, would be very interesting if that's the direction that they want to go. I don't know. Herbie's going to be the Loki that Doom kills in the first 5 minutes to show how strong he is. Hell yeah. Can't beat Herbie. Can't beat... Well, I mean, if he kills him, I guess he can kill Herbie. But I would hate to see that. For sure. What else do I want to bring up? The Silver Surfer, but I think I'll wait to mention that, because that's a side of it. We didn't talk about Galactus much. We have to bring that up as well. While we wait, what was everybody's favorite scene in Fantastic Four? Did everybody have a favorite Pacific scene that was like, that was my MVP of this movie? What was mine? I think mine... You know what I'll say? And we'll talk about this once he gets back. But I really, really loved the Johnny and Silver Surfer scene. That scene where he showed... Like, he's... Like, I think this movie did a really good job at showing that all of them are smart in their own ways. Like, I feel like that original 2 movies really, really focused on, like, Reed's smart and the others are kind of just there. Like, they're also smart, but, like, he is smart and then everyone else is there. Whereas this movie, they really focused in on they're all smart. Like they're all going into space for a reason, because they are obviously close to Reed, but they're very, very capable. They're very, very smart.
I'm back.
You are back. I was just talking about I just asked people their favorite scene, and I brought up the Johnny and Silver Surfer scene.
That was my favorite. I'll tell you that for free.
And how much I love how they made every character feel smart. Like, it wasn't just, hey, Reed's a smart one, and then there's everyone else. Everyone are very, very smart, and they all have kind of a role to play. And how Johnny is a very smart character. He's like, well, I don't need Reed to do this. I can do this on my own as well.
Yeah, that scene... I actually told this to my friends when I watched the movie with them too, or like after. I was like, I was so ready for that storyline with Johnny, like learning the language, to just like go off a cliff, like maybe like be too far-fetched. Yeah. And yeah, it's a little silly that he learns the language in like however long, just based off of like one sentence. I did think it was kind of smart to incorporate like those discs with like the frequencies from the other planets. I didn't really pick up on that until the second time I watched it either. But yeah, and it really surprised me, like that whole scene where he's like, you know, Shalabal, like, you listen to these people, like, now you're here for my planet, my family, and she like screams, and that awesome shot with her like flying up to the moon, like that. It was, and then I love how that scene looks when he flies up with her and he's, you know, all like orange and flamed on, and it's just like they're like on opposite ends of the frame. Peak.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, like I said, the space thing was like the peak of the movie, but I think if we're like right there, I think that's really...
pretty neck and neck for me as well. Like that was also a great scene.
Yeah, and the like tension within that, and again, I think it's a good kind of conclusion. I guess his arc a little bit, because he does have an arc of like, I don't know, like he is that like little brother of the family, and no one really takes him seriously, and everyone's like, yeah, but it's Johnny, and you know, blah blah blah. And I think it's a little arc of him not only believing in himself that, yes, I can be as smart as everyone else in this family, but also like them seeing it and being like, Johnny, that was incredible. Like, Johnny, how did you do that? And I think I think it's like, I kind of like that it's kind of out of odd, because it's like, that is very impressive. And it seems like when he puts his, like, he can be kind of, laid back and kind of, I don't want to say lazy, but like he kind of does his own thing and he's in his own head. But when he sets his mind to it, he is brilliant. And that's his interest, right? Is like space and like women, and he like hyper fixated on that thing. He's like, yeah, so this is what I do. Like, this is what I'm good at. It's like, that is
right. These
really
are my two things.
Yeah. No, it's
space and ladies.
Yeah, but, and I think that I do think that was probably like the biggest heart of the movie for me, is like how Johnny relates to others. Like, this isn't someone he knows at all. He just met this woman, but there's something about her that he connects to very early on. It's like, it's more than just, that she's a naked space lady. It's like there's something about her that feels sad and that feels genuine, and I want to help her. And I think that was it was so cool. And like I kind of wanted, I don't think we've talked about the like Silver Surfer side of it yet, but like I almost wanted a little bit more of the Silver Surfer stuff, because I do think it is such a great element of the story. But yeah, like
she's pretty absent after like she goes into the black hole. Like, you definitely kind of notice her lack of presence for a minute. They're probably trying to make you like surprised at the end when she shows back up, but I honestly thought that she was utilized more than I expected her to be. So
sure,
for me, I was like, all right, they won me over. I liked this version of Silver Surfer. Like,
I did too.
I was a little skeptical. I'll be honest. Like, in the trailers, I didn't think that she like visually like looked that like great. I kind of like how the other one looked with like the white eyes and the more like sleek. But in the movie, like in those shots where you get like really close up to her face and you just kind of see like how expressive she is, it's like it's very good. Like, you can definitely see the performance like through all the CGI.
Yeah, like I think there was like, if I was to nitpick any CGI thing, like I do think there are some shots where it looks a little silly, but also I think that's a very hard character to completely nail down in terms of.
There was like one specific one where I was like, all right, this is a little, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, it's
there were even a couple shots with the Thing where I was like, like it looked a little like maybe it was, I think it was like where he was first talking to Natasha Lyonne and they were like kind of on different like planes in the shot. It kind of looked a little weird to me, but besides that, I thought the rest looked like pretty good.
Honestly, I do think it's just because most of it looks really, really good, that like when a scene is like slightly lesser than, it kind of points out. Like Reed stretching was like really, really, really good in this movie. I thought
I thought even if when it got a little cartoony, I was like, I don't care. Like I feel like they should have like doubled down even more, honestly. But I really
like there was a moment like in that third act, which I know we already talked about this, but like when he's like stretching around and like the thing is going to space and Johnny's zooming by, like Galactus is like stretching him. I'm like, I can't believe I'm watching this right now. Like
like what? Like, I would have never thought in a million years that would be like the thing that Galactus does, but it's like, that is so cool. I will say, I wish he stretched him maybe a little further. Kind of, dude, that actually would have been so funny.
I was waiting
like,
for
Johnny
it.
in space, like boom. That would have been so. I actually did really like though the second. Maybe you caught this the first time. I definitely did not. But when he is stretching out Reed, you could kind of see in like the background behind Galactus's head, like Johnny, like the fire, like getting closer to the camera. I was like, cool. Oh, that's so sick.
That is cool. No, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I really like what they did with Reed and his powers. Like, there was a little bit there. I was a little afraid that they would like chicken out with like the stretching powers a little bit. Because like that first trailer came out and there was like he was the only one that did.
Yeah, they were really hesitant to show any of it.
There was like a part of me at like the back of my head was like, is there any way they like change his powers or something?
I was like a little nervous for.
I was like, is there some like I was like, oh, I don't know. But I think it was just a thing where like that's the most expensive to do in terms of like special effects. So they were saving that. They were making sure it looked really good.
I remember I literally had to go back and I had to like look at like the posters that they had at D23. Like he looks like he's like stretchy here, I think. Like so he must still be in the movie. Like yeah, I was concerned.
Yeah, but yeah, like that looked incredible. I guess we kind of like skipped over like talking about like his character within the movie just a little bit, but like I loved. I really liked his like main arc in the story because again, like I do think that was a concern for people. It's like, okay, how do you make Reed different than Tony's arc, different than Strange's arc? Because those three characters, in terms of like at least the MCU versions of them, are very similar and like archetype and kind of how they act and stuff like that. And I think they did a really good job
Yeah.
at making him. He doesn't feel like Tony. He doesn't feel like Strange. He feels like this very very interesting take on that character. One that does feel a little bit more reserved than I'm kind of used to him being, but I think I like that it's kind of buried down. Like he is this good
Yeah.
man that has these tendencies that are very toxic that he's keeps it locked inside, but you see slivers of it coming out and you see bits of it like starting to sneak out and like the people around him have to call him out and it's like, hey, that's not okay. You can't be doing that. And it's like, okay. And I'm excited to see the like evolution of that. Like there's that fantastic scene where it's like he's so at like wit's end trying to figure out what to do about this, and you can tell he's debating like, will it be like, do I have to give up my son? And there's that scene where it's like,
Yeah.
well, sometimes you hurts me. Sometimes you being you
That scene
messes
was
me.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that is so I think that's such a good like characteristic because he is a great guy, he's a great hero, but like what are you willing to sacrifice for the greater good is such a it's such a great conversation to have.
Especially with a character like Reed Richards, who we
Yeah.
know is extremely like objective, you know,
Yeah.
like he goes for like whatever, is the most favorable option. But yeah,
Yeah.
there were definitely a couple of scenes in this movie that like I think really saved this version of Reed from being like kind of surface level. I think that scene where he's like, I don't remember like what he says about like giving up Franklin. He's like, it's available.
It's
It's
a viable option.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I was like, wow, that is incredible. And he's like saying like I have to think all these bad things all the time.
Yeah.
And then the other scene with him, and it's just him and Franklin, and he's like,
Oh
I'm not
yeah.
even gonna like study you anymore. I just like hope that you're like not like how
Yeah.
I am. Oh my god, dude. I could
That's
like I could like go on about that forever. It's so good.
yeah. No, like that stuff is incredible. And I think like also the scene with the thing where like he is like they
Oh
are
yeah,
like
that
running
was
this thing.
amazing too. Yeah,
And it's
that
like
would be right there with those two scenes.
yeah, where it's like you know, like you wouldn't have known Reed. It's like I should have. I I knew. I
Well,
just
yeah,
didn't.
he's
It's
like,
so
dude, there's a lot of
good.
things that you don't know,
Yeah,
like,
it's so good.
like how to
And like
drive.
that was one of my favorite bits where it's like he is one of the smartest people to ever exist, but these
I could
things that he
totally
doesn't.
see him not like learning how to drive. Like he doesn't think that's a priority.
That's so funny, yeah, because like he doesn't know how to drive, he doesn't know how to cook. I love the scene when he's like putting together the like baby crib, and he's like, "There's two pieces left. That's weird." And he's like, "Oh no, Reed."
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's another example of like the humor I think not feeling out of place because it's like, yeah, I totally believe that
Merciful,
like
yeah,
if the thing called him out on that, he would be like, that was improper signage, like
yeah,
on the in the road test, like yeah, like and it was like really funny. Like
it was,
I think that like got a reaction like both times I saw the movie.
yeah.
What do
It's
you
like,
think the biggest laugh was in your theater? Just as like a sidebar, I'm kind of
oh
curious.
man, I don't. I'll be honest. I don't think my theater had a. They were very stoic. Like they didn't cheer, they didn't laugh. It was I'm like Ohio, so I feel like it's not
Oh
the big
yeah,
like um what would it have been? I'm trying to think. It was probably the like Alien, the like Johnny likes women, Johnny likes
yeah.
space. It's not that guys, and I think that was my favorite as well. Like okay, that's really that's pretty funny. Um,
Yeah,
how about
I
you?
think mine was definitely like when Johnny starts speaking the language and the thing is like he barely has a grasp on the English language and
Yeah, it's good.
both times I saw it people really liked that one.
It's good.
It was pretty funny.
I I know we touched on him a little bit, but I kind of wanted to circle back around because he's a very big character. Galactus. it works as
Yeah.
kind of your main villain of this movie. A character people have been wanting to see proper in live action for as long as I can live. Like there's arguably never been a good, like a great adaptation of him in live action before. And I'll say it, like I think Galactus for me has always been a character I've been always very interested in, but he's never been one of my like favorite villains because I guess I don't necessarily see him as a villain necessarily. He's more of this like
a thing.
national disaster. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah, like a natural disaster.
it's like it's not something you can really fight. You just kind of have to like prepare for it's coming, and like how do you deal with that? It's very fascinating. I know some people that were very upset with what they did with him. I thought he was pretty serviceable for what they did. It's like, people are like, I hate that he got beat and blah blah blah. But it's like I don't know how else you would write this. Like I don't know how you would kind of work around his character in the way that you did. Like I think, maybe there's some scenes that could have been done differently, but I think kind of taking care of him the way they did, I thought was pretty serviceable.
Yeah, I think they struck a very good balance of like making him very like, he's huge. Everybody else looks very small compared to him.
Yeah.
He seems like this like unstoppable force. Like they're not even thinking about like ways to like kill him or anything. It's more of just like how do we like avoid this?
Yeah.
So it's but then what I really like about this version of Galactus is that they give him like some agency. They give him a motivation where it's like,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, I do this to planets all the time. Like, yeah, sure, I could just do this to yours, but like, I actually want your baby.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it gives him another kind of like interesting layer because it's like he wants to be relieved of this. Like, he doesn't want to be doing this. And I think they struck such a good balance of making him like this primordial, like unstoppable thing, while also in like the third act, I'm like glad we got to saw them kind of beat him up a little bit. Like, I tweeted about this, but it's like I'm glad each of the four kind of had like their moment where they did some damage to Galactus. Like even Reed like opening the like thing on his back and like releasing the lava inside of him. So yeah, I think like Galactus was definitely like one of the highlights of the movie for me. Like I honestly never really had any doubt that they would mess it up either. Like as long as like Galactus to me is kind of like a more enhanced version of like Doomsday from like DC, where it's like as long as you kind of have like the general design down, like you don't have to give him like too much character, and he'll still like service the story in a satisfying way. But I feel like they went above and beyond for that. So
yeah, I think like there's like a tiny part of me that maybe would have liked to have seen like a little bit more of like, I don't know, I guess the capabilities, but like
yeah, maybe more of him like doing other stuff.
I don't know how they would have pulled it off, but like maybe him actually like consuming not our Earth obviously because we ever talked about that, but like another one of them would have been kind of cool to like see that, I guess. But also it's like how do you display that? Like I feel like it could be very hard to show that, like how he consumes the Earth and stuff like that. But besides that, I think it's cool. I think like locking him in this little outer rim of the MCU is smart because you can never bring him up again, and that's fine. But also you totally can. Like he could totally just pop back in, or like we're gonna kind of reset things in a couple movies. You can just have that didn't happen, right? It's just like this is kind of a different what. I'm not sure. Is like Galactus a multi? Like is there one for every multiverse, or is it like is he a multiverse fiend or whatever?
People have asked me that before, as if I would know.
Yeah, I feel like
and I'm like I feel like it's totally been said before that there's like one Galactus.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like. There can't be one Galactus. Like, I don't think there can be like one of anybody. Like they say that there's one America Chavez as well, and now we know there's an MCU America Chavez. So it's like
right. It's like the MCU can't decide if the comics are canon or if they're not canon.
Because they want to be 616 as well.
Yeah.
What if they accepted their Earth 199? Whatever. Then I feel like that could kind of intertwine them with 616 in like a more interesting way where it's like an Elseworlds.
Spider-Verse, as much as I love Across the Spider-Verse, it did complicate things quite a bit because it's like, wait, Wait, like it's very like how does that work?
Wait, so what's that one? Like,
yeah, and it's
yeah.
like, well, the comics are canon, and there's the MCU canon. It's like
Andrew
it's a
Garfield's
lot.
canon to us and the MCU, and then like,
Yeah,
yeah, they definitely are like everything's connected. And I feel like you could very well like look at it that way, where like everything is in one big multiverse, and the Spider-Verse movies just so happen to like, you know, embrace that. Um, but yeah, like I think like as far as Galactus, like yeah, I definitely don't think this is the same Galactus as like
okay,
comic Galactus. Do
sure.
you remember? I had like kind of a funny idea about Galactus because this is an alternate world.
Hmm.
Do you remember? And you know they went to that like other galaxy, I think, and they saw the planet that Galactus ate. But do you remember in like Rise of the Silver Surfer, like Galactus, like as he got closer to Earth, I think he was like eating planets like in our solar
Yeah,
system. I feel like that kind of this being an alter universe, that would have been like a fun opportunity to do that. Like have him like because it's like it's not gonna have consequences like later. So it's like
yeah,
have him eat like maybe
Pluto.
just as a cool way to have him like do more in the movie. Like yeah, have
Sure.
him like just like plow through like Jupiter or whatever. Like but yeah, overall, yeah, definitely happy with Galactus.
Yeah, yeah, I was too. I think he was very serviceable. Like, I'll be interested when I like eventually like rank all the MCU villains and like where does someone like him rank
Yeah,
among the like pantheons? I think would be very interesting.
him and
Uh,
like the Void. It's like we've got
oh,
some
yeah,
interesting villains to like compare with others this year.
yeah.
I feel like.
I mean, like Luthor this year as well. I mean, I know that's not like MCU, but like in the grand scheme of things, and then it's like, and then there's the leader, which is
Yeah, I literally saw someone be like, get rid of one of these, 2025 villains, and it was like Lex, Void, Galactus, and the leader, and I was like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
It's
At
so
least put like Red
yeah.
Hulk there. Like
Yeah,
he
I
was
made
probably more entertaining to watch.
yeah. I think that may have been my tweet. I'm pretty sure. I made a tweet
Was
like
it?
very similar to that. It's like yeah, like what was the best comic book villain
Oh,
of the
that's
year or
so
something.
funny. Well, but like, I mean, you're right though. Like the leader really is the villain of that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I was making I was like I feel bad for giving this like a mission to Captain America.
Especially in like at like an era of like actually serves because you remember there was a time when like a lot of people would be like, yeah, the MCU is great, but the villains kind of suck,
Yeah.
like Guardians, the Iron Man movies, whatever. But now I feel like it's like the villains are really like kind of almost making the movie as much as the heroes,
Sure. Yeah.
at least with this and like Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I mean we've had some misfires for sure, but yeah, I think for the most part, like we've been getting better. Like Killmonger, Vulture, Thanos,
Yeah,
Loki, like we're getting, like we have like the Marvels, which was like villains was like my
that
least
set
favorite
us
part.
back a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
That was a very like phase one,
yeah,
phase two, like MCU. She was honestly just like Ronan again,
yeah.
and nobody really liked Ronan. Like,
If she, like if she was a good villain, that movie would get better by like one whole star.
I had completely. If she was like fun to watch, if I cared about
Yeah,
her, I honestly don't even remember like what her deal was. It had something to do with like their son or whatever. But it
yeah.
was like, yeah, if she was even a little bit interesting, I would bump that movie up a whole star.
100%
Like,
agree. 100% agree. Yeah, I feel like we're coming towards the end here just a little bit. I'm trying to think like any last things.
yeah,
I
we've
will.
covered a lot of ground.
We've covered a lot of ground for sure. First steps, if you will. So stupid. I'm sorry. I will say like I really do like, and I know we've kind of talked about this kind of like around the circle a little bit, but I do like how it does feel very different in terms of the MCU, in terms of like I guess the main plot of the story. Like I like that this isn't a movie that's about like all right, there's a bad guy who's coming in here. I like that this is a movie about like how do we prevent this? How do we move forward? I like that one of the main conflicts is that the people start to hate the Fantastic Four, and I think that's such a fascinating element to it. There's this story about like what makes a hero in a various way. Like this is a universe where there's never doesn't seem like there's really ever been a situation like this. It seems like every problem this Earth has ever faced, the Fantastic Four has been
Right.
there to
And
stop
now
it
they're
or
finally
save
like
it.
challenged. Like People
And
are like, wait, why are you the ones that get to decide? Like,
oh
so
my
they kind of have
gosh,
to show why, and
yeah, and like
that speech from Sue was so good.
and yes, 100%. And it's like yeah, like are they selfish for trying to keep their son to themselves and not, whatever the earth? And like again, like Reed said, objectively, that is the right call, right? It's like
Right,
one infant versus millions of people. Obviously, that is the right move, but that doesn't make it the good move. And I really like that line from Stu. It's like I will not sacrifice my baby for the world, but I will
right.
also not sacrifice the world for my baby.
Like it shows it, like it shows the people like she's confident. They're the Fantastic Four. She knows
Yeah,
they're gonna like figure it out.
sure.
It was like super good.
Sure, 100%. And like I like the brainstorming element of it. I was like, okay, we gotta move the earth, so we're gonna build all these pillars. We're like that's super fun. I like the like collectiveness of like, okay, so everyone has to work together all the
Yeah,
time. We're gonna shut out all the power. I think that puts it apart from like other cinema or like other thing like our world because could never like
that
we
would
could
never
never
happen.
do
I
that
feel
in the
like
real
not
world.
even like the like MCU, like they couldn't do that.
No, no, no. And I think like that is part of the fun like 80s aesthetic where like that wasn't the case, but it seemed like
Yeah,
when you
everybody
look at
gets
the
along.
media, we're like
Everybody loves the Fantastic Four.
everyone loves the world,
They've
everyone
got
loves
like world
friends and
peace.
yeah,
Sue
yeah, yeah,
Storm
yeah.
solved all the world's problems.
Yeah.
Like it's so fun.
So good. I mean, do you have any kind of final thoughts, final things that we haven't talked about yet that you would
Hmm.
like to bring up?
I was a little disappointed with the second post credit scene. I'm honestly like I'm not someone that like dislikes when they have those little credit scenes at the end where it's like haha we like got you for watching all the credits,
Mhm.
but it's like I loved like the one in Doctor Strange with Bruce Campbell. He's like, oh, it's over, and then it just cuts.
Yeah, it's
But yeah,
good.
this one I was like, okay, like we already saw the cartoon in the movie. It's like I don't. And Red
Yeah.
Ghost wasn't even in the movie. Oh, something we forgot. Mole Man. He was really
Oh
good.
man, yeah. Stingray from Cobra Kai.
I know.
I
I
love
was like,
him.
how many people are gonna like know that he's Stingray?
So good.
But yeah, yeah, he was really good. He made me laugh so hard at the beginning when they were like shoving him into the cop car, and
Good.
he's like, power to the underground. Like, I'm like, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so happy that he came back later. I was like, oh man,
That's
I hope they
cool.
didn't like Red Ghost him and like cut him out of the rest of the movie. But
Yeah. I will say, like, I do think that first act, especially that first 15 minutes, might be some of the coolest like comic book openings that I have seen from a movie because
yeah,
that feels so energetic, so comic book. It does kind of feel like you're like flipping through like a comic panel
it
and you're
got me so
seeing
hyped, like showing
yeah,
them do all these like different things, like saving people from like so fast, like
awesome.
boom, 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 like yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, like I think that's something that both these movies kind of give me. Like I made a tweet like a couple years ago that it wasn't viral, but like it got quite a few likes. Where it's like I said like I miss when comic book movies showed superheroes like saving people or showed them like stopping a bad guy, just like random ass bad guy in the mid street. I think both Superman and Fantastic Four gave me that like classic superhero like tropey stuff that I've been kind of missing, and it's just such a nice breath of fresh air of like, oh my gosh, it's so like that's kind of why I love superheroes. Like these are the tropes that made me kind of fall in love with these guys. So it was very cool to kind of see how that was done and like the music and like all the bright colors and like you could definitely tell some stuff was cut out of the movie. And I guess we didn't really talk much like criticisms, I guess for the most part. Like
Oh
that
yeah, yeah,
I do think that is the thing. Like we talked about it a little bit, but like a lot was
yeah.
cut.
That's really my biggest thing too.
It's
Like
a
besides that, it's really all kind of like nitpicks, honestly. Like.
yeah, I
And
think it's
it's
just
not the worst thing in the world when your biggest criticism is like, I wish there was more of
which
this.
is more.
Like, yeah.
It's definitely I think like a pacing thing for me because it is a very fast movie. Things
It's
go
yeah,
very
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 similar to
quickly.
Superman, honestly.
Yeah, where it's like
You
you
could have
want more
tacked
time.
15 minutes onto both.
You want some of these scenes to breathe a little bit. You want to be like, all right, just like, calm down just a little bit, let these scenes flow a little bit better next to each other. But yeah, I would agree. I think that's the problem of both of those movies, right? Both great, but could have used a little bit polishing up here and there,
Yeah.
I think. I think that being said, that kind of brings us to the end of today's episode. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. It's crazy we don't have another MC movie for a whole year until next
Spider-Man. I think June or July.
July. I think it might be July because Supergirl's in June. So I think this is.
Oh yeah, so I think it is in
July. Yeah. So let me answer Cody's question as well. He answered our question. He's born at the start of the Big Bang, so another will be born after Secret Wars. Okay.
All right. Interesting. Wait. So does that mean that another Galactus was born after the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars?
Interesting.
Because that was kind of like a soft reset.
Mm-hmm.
I guess well that'd be interesting to explore. Like how Galactus deals with like a reboot.
Yeah. Does he know about it? Is he like conscious?
see like Kilowog and Crisis on Infinite Earths. Is he like the only one that remembers? Oh my god.
Fascinating. But thank you so much for joining me today. This was an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute blast.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
For anyone wondering, where can we find you? Is there anything you want to shout out, promo, tell people to go do or watch or something?
On Twitter/X and Letterboxd, SMV_of_heroes. I said it earlier, in the show, but everybody go check out Devs on Hulu. That show is underrated and it's awesome, and it's only 8 episodes. Nothing else I want to plug really.
You have a TikTok as well, right? I saw you.
I do have a TikTok. I don't really post on there, but if I think I have the same username on there as well, so you can find me on there. I repost some, mostly comic book stuff. So yeah.
Incredible.
That's pretty much it.
Pretty much it. Go check out all that stuff. I'll try and link it down below.
Oh, sweet. I appreciate it.
What am I working on this week? After credits, Monday, we have another fun episode. We're doing more Dexter Resurrection. What is it, episode 5? Ooh. And Eyes of Wakanda is coming out this week as well, so we will be talking about that series. I'm still a little pissed that they're just like, that's out. But I'm excited to watch it nonetheless. And then Pipeline next week. What is next week? Next week will be our DreamWorks episode. Bad Guys 2 is about to come out, so we are going to be doing our top 5 DreamWorks movies with a guest that we will be having on. So that should be very, very fun. Expect it to just be half How to Train Your Dragon, because that's how we roll.
There better be a Kung Fu Panda movie on there.
Oh yeah, gotta love some Kung Fu Panda.
Skadoosh.
Absolutely. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I will catch y'all on the flip side. Bye bye.